Every night across America, millions of businesses lock their doors. The lights go out, the employees go home, and the money stops. But not all of them. Some businesses keep making money at 2 a.m., at 4 a.m., even while their owners are asleep. They don't sell the latest technology. They don't go viral on social media. And you've probably driven past them hundreds of times without ever realizing they were quietly printing money. So what's their secret? Why do these ordinary, overlooked businesses keep getting paid, while so many flashy businesses struggle just to survive? Because they all follow one simple principle, a principle that can completely change the way you see business. Today, we're counting down 10 businesses that can make money long after the work is done. Imagine walking into your office tomorrow morning. The floors are spotless. The trash bins are empty. The restrooms are clean. The windows shine. Now ask yourself one simple question. Who made sure all of that happened before anyone arrived? Most people never think about it. But every office building, medical clinic, school, warehouse, apartment complex, and shopping center depends on someone to keep it clean, not once, every single week. And that's exactly what makes this business so powerful. The real money isn't in mops, buckets, or cleaning supplies. It's in contracts. When a property manager hires a commercial cleaning company, they're usually not paying for one cleaning. They're paying for reliability, a weekly contract, a monthly contract, sometimes even multi-year agreements. That means instead of waking up every Monday wondering where the next customer will come from, the business already knows what next month's revenue looks like. And that's a huge difference. Most small businesses spend their time chasing customers. Commercial cleaning businesses spend their time serving customers they already have. That's why many successful owners eventually stop cleaning altogether. They hire trained crews, build systems, maintain quality, and focus on winning new contracts. The cleaning happens without them. The business keeps running, and the monthly payments keep coming. Customers aren't paying for clean floors. They're paying for the peace of mind that they'll never have to think about them. And in business, solving someone's recurring problem is almost always more valuable than selling them something once. Now here's what's interesting. The next business works for a completely different reason. Customers don't call because they want the service. They call because they have no other choice. And that's exactly why it can be even more profitable. Business number 9. Imagine waking up, walking into your kitchen, and spotting a line of ants marching across the counter, or hearing scratching sounds inside your walls at 2 o'clock in the morning. At that moment, you're not comparing prices. You're not reading 50 reviews. You're looking for one thing, the fastest solution. That's exactly what makes pest control one of America's quiet money machines. The hidden business. People don't hire pest control because they enjoy it. They hire it because ignoring the problem only makes it worse. A few ants become hundreds. One mouse becomes a family. A tiny termite colony can quietly cause thousands of dollars in damage before a homeowner even notices. That's why pest control isn't selling chemicals. It's selling peace of mind. Here's what many people don't realize. Most pest control companies aren't making most of their money from emergency visits. They're making it from recurring protection plans. Instead of waiting for insects to return, customers pay every month or every quarter to stop the problem before it starts. Why most people ignore it? Let's be honest. No child grows up dreaming of owning a pest control company. It isn't glamorous. It doesn't attract attention. And that's exactly why many markets aren't as crowded as trendier businesses. Sometimes the businesses people avoid become the businesses that quietly thrive. The biggest lesson isn't about bugs. It's about urgency. Businesses that solve expensive problems before they become disasters rarely need to convince customers to buy. The customer is already convinced themselves. But the next business doesn't depend on fear. It depends on something almost every American has: too much stuff. Business number 8, self-storage. Unlike pest control, people pay because they're afraid. People pay self-storage because they can't let go. That's a much deeper story. People don't rent storage units because they need more space. They rent them because they have too many memories, too many possessions, and too few difficult conversations. Storage companies don't sell rooms. They sell time. Time before making a decision. Time before throwing something away. Time before moving. Time before downsizing. That's why millions of units stay rented for years. Imagine paying every single month to store things you haven't touched in 3 years. Sounds crazy, yet millions of Americans do exactly that. Some storage units contain furniture. Some contain old business inventory. Some contain family memories. And many contain things the owner has completely forgotten. Yet every month, the payment keeps coming. Most businesses make money by convincing people to buy something new. Self-storage makes money because people struggle to let go of what they already own. That's a completely different business model. The more attached people become, the more valuable convenience becomes. The biggest businesses don't always create new demand. Sometimes they simply charge people for delaying a decision. But the next business doesn't profit from what people keep. It profits from something people use almost every single week: their car. Business number 7, automatic car wash. Imagine driving home after a week of rain. Your car is covered in dirt. You could spend the next hour washing it yourself, or you could spend 5 minutes without ever leaving your seat. That's exactly why automatic car washes have become one of America's quiet money machines. Most people think a car wash sells clean cars. It doesn't. It sells something far more valuable: time. Because for many people, 5 extra minutes are worth more than a perfectly washed car. In today's world, convenience often beats perfection. Here's what makes this business different. Many automatic car washes don't rely on one-time customers anymore. They rely on monthly unlimited wash memberships. For a fixed monthly fee, customers can wash their cars as often as they want. Some people visit once a month. Others visit every week. But whether they use the service or not, the membership payment keeps arriving. That's predictable income, month after month. To most drivers, it's just another building on the side of the road. They see soap, water, and spinning brushes. What they don't see is a business designed to serve hundreds of cars every day with very little human labor. The real value isn't the water, it's the system. Once the equipment is installed, one customer leaves, another enters, again and again. The biggest lesson isn't about washing cars. It's about removing friction. The easier you make something, the more often people choose it. Businesses that save customers time often become more valuable than businesses that simply offer a better product. But the next business doesn't save people time. It saves them from something even more important: a freezing winter night or a scorching summer afternoon. Business number 6, HVAC services. Imagine it's the hottest day of summer. Outside, the temperature is over 100 degrees. You walk into your house, and instead of cool air, you're hit with warm air. Within minutes, your home becomes uncomfortable. Within hours, it becomes unbearable. At that moment, finding the cheapest HVAC company isn't your priority. Finding the fastest one is. Most people think HVAC companies sell air conditioners. They don't. They sell something much more valuable: comfort. Comfort is one of those things people rarely notice until it's taken away. The same thing happens in winter. When your furnace stops working on a freezing night, waiting until next week isn't an option. Here's what many people don't realize. The biggest HVAC companies don't depend only on emergency repairs. Many homeowners sign annual maintenance plans. Twice a year, a technician checks the system, replaces filters, cleans critical components, and catches small problems before they become expensive ones. The homeowner gets peace of mind. The company gets predictable recurring revenue that most people. An air conditioner is just another appliance, hidden outside the house or tucked away in the attic. Nobody talks about it. Nobody shows it off. But when it stops working, it suddenly becomes the most important machine in the house. That's why HVAC isn't a luxury. For millions of Americans, it's a necessity. The biggest lesson isn't about heating or cooling. It's about solving problems before customers can afford to wait. Businesses that protect people's comfort, health, or safety often don't have to create demand. The demand already exists. But the next business isn't built around emergencies. It's built around something much simpler, owning expensive equipment without actually buying it. Business number 5, equipment rental. Imagine you're a contractor starting a new construction project tomorrow. You need an excavator. The problem? Buying one could cost well over $100,000. And after the job is finished, it might sit and use for weeks. So instead, you rent it for a few days, then return it. That simple decision created one of America's quietest million-dollar industries. Most people think equipment rental companies rent machines. They don't. They rent access. Because for many businesses, owning expensive equipment isn't the smartest option. Using it only when it's needed is. A landscaper may need a skid steer for one weekend. A contractor may need a boom lift for 3 days. A homeowner may need a stump grinder for a single afternoon. Buying those machines makes little sense. Renting them makes perfect sense. Here's what makes this business so powerful. The same excavator can earn money for one contractor this week, another contractor next week, and a different company the week after that. One machine, hundreds of customers, over many years. Instead of selling the equipment once, the rental company keeps selling temporary access to it. Again and again, drive past an equipment rental yard, and you'll probably see rows of machines sitting still. At first glance, it looks like nothing is happening, but those machines aren't waiting. They're inventory. Every idle machine is scheduled to become tomorrow's revenue. The equipment may be parked today, but it's already been reserved for the next job. The biggest lesson isn't about construction. It's about ownership. The most valuable asset isn't always the one you use the most. Sometimes, the most valuable asset is the one that hundreds of other people pay to use. That's the difference between owning something and turning it into a business. But the next business doesn't rent machines. It quietly serves businesses most people never even think about. Hotels, hospitals, restaurants, every single day. Business number 4, commercial laundry. Imagine checking into a hotel late at night. The bed sheets feel fresh. The towels smell clean. The restaurant downstairs is spotless. Tablecloths. The hospital across town has thousands of sterilized linens ready for patients. Most people never ask the obvious question. Not the hotel, not the hospital, not the restaurant. Behind the scenes, a different business quietly keeps them running. Most people think commercial laundries clean laundry. They don't. They keep businesses operating. Hotels need clean sheets every single day. Hospitals can't run out of clean linens. Restaurants constantly replace towels, aprons, and tablecloths. These businesses don't wash everything themselves. They outsource the job because doing it in-house costs more money, more space, more employees, and more time. Here's what makes this business so powerful. A hotel doesn't need laundry once. It needs laundry every day. The same is true for hospitals, nursing homes, gyms, spas, restaurants, and countless other businesses. As long as those businesses stay open, the laundry trucks keep making deliveries. That's recurring demand. Not because customers love laundry, but because their businesses depend on it. Commercial laundry facilities rarely advertise. Most people never step inside one. Yet every morning, before hotels welcome new guests, before restaurants open, before hospitals begin another day, thousands of pounds of clean linens are already on their way. The business succeeds because customers notice when it's missing, not when it's working. The biggest lesson isn't about laundry. It's about becoming part of someone else's operation. When your business helps another business function every single day, you don't have to chase customers constantly. You become part of their routine. And routine creates recurring revenue. But the next business doesn't deliver clean linens. It removes something almost nobody wants to think about: waste. Business number 3, dumpster rental. Imagine you're renovating your house. The old kitchen comes out first, then the cabinets, the tiles, the drywall. Within a few hours, your driveway is buried under piles of debris. Now you have a bigger problem than the renovation itself. Where does all that waste go? That's when a business most people never think about quietly steps in. The hidden business. Most people think dumpster companies rent metal containers. They don't. They sell convenience. A contractor doesn't want to stop working every few hours to haul debris away. A homeowner doesn't want to make 10 trips to the landfill. Instead, a dumpster arrives. It stays exactly where it's needed. And when it's full, the company picks it up, empties it, and rents it to the next customer. Here's what makes this business so powerful. The same dumpster might be used for a kitchen renovation this week, a roofing project next week, a commercial construction site the week after, then a neighborhood cleanup, then a new home build. It's the same business model we saw with equipment rental. One asset, hundreds of customers. For years, the dumpster isn't valuable because it's made of steel. It's valuable because it keeps moving. Drive through almost any American city, and you'll find dumpsters behind apartment buildings, outside shopping centers, beside office renovations, at construction sites, even outside homes. Most people don't notice them, but builders notice immediately when one doesn't arrive on time, because construction can't continue if the waste has nowhere to go. The biggest lesson isn't about garbage. It's about friction. Every successful business removes friction from someone else's work. The less time your customer spends dealing with problems, the more valuable your business becomes. Dumpster companies don't make money from trash. They make money from helping work continue without interruption. But the next business doesn't remove waste. It makes money from something almost every driver does without thinking: parking. Business number 2, parking lots. Imagine driving into downtown Chicago on a Monday morning. Every street is packed. Every office building is full. You finally find an empty parking space. You park your car, walk away, and the parking lot starts making money. No employee sold your product. No one manufactured anything. Nothing was delivered. Yet money is already flowing. The hidden business. Most people think parking lots rent spaces. They don't. They monetize location. A single parking space can be rented dozens of times every week. Morning commuters, lunch visitors, afternoon shoppers, evening diners, weekend events. The same small piece of land earns money from different people hour after hour. Here's what makes this business so powerful. The parking lot doesn't care what business brought you there. Maybe you're visiting a hospital. Maybe you're working in an office. Maybe you're shopping. Maybe you're attending a concert. Every destination creates parking demand. The parking lot benefits from all of them without hiring more employees, without making more products, without changing the business. Most drivers never remember the parking lot. They remember where they were going. But for the owner, every arriving car represents another small payment. Hundreds of cars each day, thousands each week, millions over the lifetime of the property. The cars leave, the land stays. The biggest lesson isn't about parking. It's about owning infrastructure that other businesses quietly depend on. Sometimes the most valuable business isn't the destination. It's the land beside the destination. Location creates demand. Demand creates recurring income. But the final business doesn't depend on construction or hotels or traffic. It quietly earns money from one of the smallest everyday transactions in America. Business number one, ATM business. Imagine stopping for coffee before work. You realize you need cash. There's an ATM right outside the convenience store. You withdraw $20, pay a small fee, and leave without thinking about it. The transaction took less than 30 seconds. But somewhere, the owner of that ATM just made money. Not because they sold you coffee. Not because they work at the store. Simply because their machine was exactly where you needed it. Most people think ATM owners make money from cash. They don't. They make money from convenience. People don't pay for the money. They pay for immediate access to it. That's why ATMs appear where people already spend money. Gas stations, convenience stores, bars, hotels, shopping centers. Busy places create busy machines. Here's what makes this business so powerful. One withdrawal might earn only a few dollars. That doesn't sound impressive. But multiply that by dozens of transactions every day, across hundreds of days every year, for many years. Now imagine owning several ATMs, each quietly collecting small fees from thousands of people. The machine never has to convince anyone to buy something. It simply waits where demand already exists. Most people only notice an ATM when they need one. They never wonder who owns it. Yet every withdrawal, every balance inquiry, every convenience fee can become income for someone they've never met. The machine doesn't chase customers. Customers come to the machine. The biggest lesson isn't about ATMs. It's about positioning. The best businesses don't always create demand. They place themselves where demand already exists. Every business in this video follows the same pattern. Commercial cleaning, pest control, self-storage, car washes, HVAC, equipment rental, commercial laundry, dumpster rental, parking lots, and ATMs, different industries. One shared principle. They solve recurring problems in places where people have little choice but to pay. That's why they keep making money, even while their owners sleep. The next time you drive through your city, don't just look at the flashy businesses. Look at the quiet ones. Because sometimes the businesses everyone ignores are the ones quietly building the biggest fortunes.